What's going on, all you lovely fans? I'm your host, Johnny Walker, for another marvelous cinematic roundup. So today's roundup is another Marvel What If episode 2. This episode was fantastic. We loved it just as much as the first one, if not more, just because of all the differences that we get to see in this one. It was so much change. The first one definitely had a lot of change, but this one really showed us how much influence one little moment could have on the rest of the MCU in that time. Guys, let us know what you thought about the episode and what you thought about the changes that it presented. Was it enough for you, or maybe it wasn't enough? Let us know. We really get to see a difference in the influence that T'Challa has as Star-Lord in this timeline, opposed to Peter Quill.
Oh, Star-Lord! I'm a huge fan of your work.
You know, T'Challa was a natural leader, so we see that relationship between Yondu and him continue on even into the future here. So after they grab the Power Stone, they meet up in the bar for a rendezvous. And here we have a huge surprise that I don't think any of us saw coming. A team member of this new Ravengers team. That's right, it's Thanos. And even though he's a good guy, he still heavily backs up his plan to grab the Infinity Stones and help the universe out.
Arguments. Aye, aye, Commander. Although I still assert my plan was not without its merits.
Please. Pretty sure it's still just genocide, big guy.
And I'm pretty sure it's efficient.
My friend, that sounds an awful lot like genocide.
No, because it's random.
Uh-huh.
And I might add, efficient.
Then we find out that Drax was actually helped by T'Challa whenever his planet was attacked by the Kree. We see a different version of Nebula, someone that hasn't been extensively experimented on with different parts. So Nebula and T'Challa hatch a plan to pull a heist on the Collector. They bring up the Collector's security team, the Black Order, which ends up bringing a little irony into it because they give Thanos one hell of a beatdown. We get to see that the Collector has gone through some extensive changes, being the new head power in this corner of the universe. He had some modifications that helped him out quite a bit. We get a little more interaction with Howard the Duck this time, whose voice is played by Seth Green, who you may know from Robot Chicken, but I know from Idle Hands. Let us know if you know that little gem. There were a lot of things that threw me off in this episode, the Thanos thing being one of the big ones, but I think that this one was the main thing. The Collector's weapon box, which housed quite a collection. The first weapon he uses is a knife forged in dark matter from the leader of the Dark Elves. On the very left, we have Cap's shield, but what's very interesting next to that is Mjolnir. And although it's not spoken, I think that under the Dark Elves' knife was Loki's blade. Then he pulls back the first layer, revealing Hela's helmet. With all of these in hand for the Collector, we can only be left to assume that in this world, Asgard has perished. Let us know in the comments what you think happened to Asgard, or Cap. We also get a very interesting scene with all the spaceships in the background, and as you can see, we see the Grandmaster ship. We can see the ship that Ronan and his armies use, and I'm not too positive, but I think that might be an X-Wing there at the top left. So in this storyline, T'Challa wants to go back home to meet with his family. We get a nice little meet and greet with them for a little family reunion. Then we get a second family reunion. We see Peter Quill working at the Dairy Queen where Ego planted that flower. And guess who's shown up to grab him? That's right, Ego. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the Marvel What If episode 2. We absolutely loved it. So many changes, so many differences within that timeline. Let us know what you thought about the episode, how many differences you found, and if you found any Easter eggs or any clues that we may have passed over. We do appreciate you watching, guys. Until next time.